when I got fired, I remember walking into the vape shop. You know, Janelle, she was there, and I said, "Hey, Janelle." Walked in, and she's like, "Yo, why you look so sad?" "Just got fired." "Lost my job," Janelle said.
How was your mental health during this period?
Ooh. Many nights up and down in the house by myself, pacing up and down. Ended up on antidepressants, had 2 minor strokes.
What?
Finances started to come from places that only God alone could send.
Start from the beginning. Beginning.
Well, that takes us back.
Welcome to Gens from Friends. This is where we have conversations with creators, entrepreneurs, young professionals, collecting stories of brands and people. Hopefully we can motivate and inspire, and maybe even ignite the fire for others to start their own projects. I hope you enjoy this episode. Stay tuned. I can just get right into it. So
Yeah, man.
to the people that are watching and listening, the person that in front of me right now is one of the biggest inspirations. I don't even know if you know that for me. The story, I remember going into After Dark, back to school jam, when y'all were when you were part of the bomb squad.
Wow.
Right? And I went to the After Dark, and when I see the reaction and like how you'd again people to react and move, I was amazed. I was in secondary school. I think it was probably 15, 16. That was like one of the first major events I went to with so many people. Because, you know, like in the After Dark, they had like the upstairs and your room with the mirrors.
Yeah, correct. The box.
Box.
Yeah.
Where all the R&B songs used to be
slow
playing.
music.
Yeah.
The sweat box.
And then outside was a courtyard.
Courtyard, yeah. Correct. The stage and
then they had to go level up. I used to be
back
up
as well.
on the back, right? But then like I just went into a zone, and then we see like when you come on, the whole place would just transform.
Wow.
And I was drawn more to what was happening backstage and on the stage, and looking at the equipment and looking at how y'all were moving. And that is when I knew that I wanted to be part of that world.
Wow.
You understand?
Never knew that.
Yep.
Wow.
That is when I know that like this is it. This is where it is. I want to live in this world. And then, I don't know if you remember, your studio was next to my dad's studio, Quiet Storm.
Yes, correct.
Over the Garrison
Letchworth complex.
Correct. So I remember seeing you there, and then I would see a couple big artists passing through, and that was one of the first times I see Rupi.
This is the first time I'm learning who your dad was.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Michael Welch, bro.
Wow.
And this be coming out there, and I'm peeping over.
I never saw you down there once, dude.
Nah, you didn't see me. There's a right down there for a bicycle, little bony boy.
serious?
You didn't remember me.
Wow. Life is crazy, huh?
Yep.
And then I'm there telling you earlier, like, I'm so, like, taken with how you approach music and stuff, and how you dealt from the time I knew of your musical abilities and stuff from back in the shipping and stuff. And there I am saying, I would like this man to manage me, and you're telling me?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So trust me, bro. We were looking. People are always watching.
Wow.
No pressure.
Oh, thanks. Makes it a lot easier now,
I would like to know, like, how did it all started? I want you to start from the beginning. Beginning.
Well, that takes us back to law school.
Law school. Got it.
We go back to law school. Matt Fingal, because I used to be doing breakdancing and that kind of stuff. That time breakdancing was in, used to have end-of-term fetes and concerts.
Mm-hmm.
So I started off by being the DJ for it. And then it went to the fairs. And then I ended up playing at Queen's College Fair, Harrison College Fair, and being adopted by a lot of house parties with the thing back then as well, too.
Yeah.
So, house parties being it. And we started a group called The Mob. It was supposed to mean music organized better.
Mm-hmm.
That group had in a lot of people as well. From there, After the mob, I then went to community college. I left Lodge, then went to community college. And at community college, I was supposed to be the president of the guild, which I was. I say supposed because I was doing music. I was more into the music and stuff like that. And just to hold parties and shows and concerts there. I remember holding one with Splash Band in the gym. And from there, I did mechanical electrical engineering science. My mother had me registered to become a doctor. So she went,
Dr. Coppin.
Doesn't have that ring though. So she had me registered for St. Augustine. And when that moment came, she said, well, you know, have a good trip. I said, Mommy, I want to be a DJ though. She want to be a what? Boy, try and get on that plane. I said, no, Mommy, I want to do this. And I went to Warehouse Nightclub and I got the job there. I was also working at Federal Express. I was also training to be on radio with Anthony Lohar at 98.1.
Another big one. Shout
I was,
out to Anthony.
yeah, peace to Lohar. And they all took a hand in training me and stuff. And at that point, I was doing, when I really look back at it now, I was doing like 3-4 hustles.
Really?
Radio, Federal Express, Warehouse Nightclub, community college playing out. Right? So I was doing all of that. I remember I had a girlfriend I used to see for like 2 hours.
Is that what age?
This is at the age of 21.
21. Okay. 4 hustles at 21.
4 hustles at 21. I left Lodge at sixth form, 19 or 20. I think I repeated, let's say 20. You know, left there. So after community college and moving to the radio, training at 98.1 with Lohar, the likes of Derry Boyne, Diane Ford, Claude Graham, Vic Brewster, and a whole host of other people. So I started doing radio there, but then something had to give. So I gave up FedEx, gave up, didn't work to go to college.
College dropout.
College dropout. My mom served me food like this for about 2 months. That's your food.
You know how to eat off your ground though? Hopefully not.
But, and after a while of doing that and being on 98 and becoming popular and playing for more house parties and around the circuit, one day my mom and dad they started to see that I was trying to apply business to it. So then they came off the resistance and the traditional way that they would want, parents want you to become doctor, lawyer,
Bank manager.
But there's no school or tertiary institution that teaches you really to be you.
Or just the arts.
Yeah.
And how you can merge the arts with business.
Correct.
Yeah.
So after, being on the stations and then deciding to make a conscious decision, this is what I want to do. I want to do radio. And I want to play out. They joined, they helped, they pushed me. Was at 98.1 for about 4 or 5 years. And then I got a call from Vic Finance. He was starting Hot FM. He started 98.1, then he left. He started Hot FM.
Right.
At that point, we were neighbors. And one day he came to the back fence and he was like, Pete's, I want to have a word with you there.
Talk about proximity, boy.
Yeah. Yeah. In his boxers, yes. Respect to Mr. Vic Finance. So Pete, I want to have a word with you. And then he told me of his plans to start this new station, Hot FM. There was Cindy Rose. There was, some other names like John Doe. I actually brought John Doe to radio. And
Nice.
they had a Malcolm X. He was there as well.
I remember Fuzz.
Fuzzy Wuzzy.
Yeah.
DMZ. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we all started Hot Hot FM, and I've been there. I was at Hot FM for 21 years until I got fired in 2019, just before COVID.
Okay, so you got fired.
Yeah.
Got it.
And a lot of people, you know, like when I get to this part of the story, they're like, "You what? You what?"
Yeah, because I didn't think you got fired. I figured out, man, it was just time for a new
That's-
chapter, you know?
Yeah, it was done like that so that, you know, it wouldn't give any kind of behavior or antsy vibes to anybody in the public to
Got
say,
it.
well, what really happened? Peter Coppin gone. Rah, 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 rah. So it was done. It was quiet. And I kept it like that.
And how many years did you give to Hot?
21.
21 years. That's a whole life. Like,
21 years. 21 years. And when I got fired, I remember walking into the vape shop about a week later, and, you know, Janelle, she was there, and I said, "Hey, Janelle." Walked in, and she's like, "Yo, why you look so sad?" "Just got fired. Lost my job." Janelle said, "Congratulations."
new opportunities. You are free.
So it took me a sec. Not gonna lie, it took me a sec. Matt, so I went like,
That was your best reaction, though.
yeah, she was like, "Congratulations." So I said, "What you said?" "I just told you, Jay, I got fired, all right? I ain't got no job, mortgage to pay, wife at home, or, well, I was supposed to get married. Wife at home with her kid, and no money. I got fired." And I said, "Congratulations." She said, "You don't get it?" I said, "How you mean?" She says, "No, when are you going to go and get yours?" I said, "Janelle, me, a license? You understand the amount of money, the amount of process entailed in getting a license?" She said, "Listen, don't worry. I got faith that you could do it." So she made a call for me, and it was the Minister Moore. Miss Moore then had a meeting with me. I saw the Honorable Prime Minister at an event as well. And then I actually saw both of them at the event. It was a show at the Kensington, actually. So Matthew, I'm there saying, should I take this opportunity to go and ask a question? And this is where God really joined me. Not that I never believed in God before, you know, but people hear me saying God did and don't understand that I really mean God did.
That you had a revelation,
I really mean God did.
a visitation.
I went up to Mia, Miss Motley, sorry, and I said, what would I have to do to get a license? What does it entail? You want a license? I said, yes, ma'am. Went over to the doctor, went over to someone else. Huddle talk.
Wow. That's big.
My first move,
That's a flex right there, though.
they actually turned me into a businessman. They told me, okay, this is what has to happen, right up to being voted in Congress, in Parliament by all 33 members. And I remember going through the whole process, the paperwork, the lawyers, the business meetings. And even then, I was just praying to manifest this thing. I was saying, Father, help me. Please bless me. Please guide me. Please show me how to get through this, because there's millions we're looking at to get this thing started. No job, just get fired. But that's why I said God, because when the finances started to come from here or there, different places, people guide you, advise you. Banks, first of all, that was a no-no. And I want to say what up to the guy who I had the interview with. I told him I have a station and I wanted to get a loan and, you know.
Is that your bank?
Yeah. I won't call the bank. But the guy said, well, how much you want? I said, well, I would like about 500,000. Oh, no problem. You just got to bring 500,000, deposit your 500,000, and we will give you 500,000.
Why would you even do that? Like, if you had it. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, okay. He said, well, I don't really hear anything that I'm interested in. I said, okay, thank you, sir. I will make sure you do hear something in the future you're interested in. Have a good day. From there, all I can say is that finances started to come from places that only God alone could send. All legal, of course.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, but only God alone. So after getting through the vote, getting the paperwork right, getting the official license and permission and stuff, then I started the journey of building and modeling the studio, getting the equipment, got help as well from the government to actually get that stuff in here, and you know. So I really appreciate the hands that come into play to help you to do stuff like that. And what I would tell anybody, Matthew, is if you got a dream, a passion is inside of you, and the only person who can really out that fire, is supposed to out that fire, is you. You got to go after this thing inside of you. But you know, earlier I made mention to you on the fact that at some point in your journey, you found video.
Right.
Did you ever think you would?
Video phone me.
Right?
Yeah.
So I guess you could say radio phoned me in that light as well. Yeah.
Honestly, it was actually, my passion was video first, to be honest. But music was in proximity, was closer. And but I wanted to go to film school, but it was like 20,000 a semester.
To be an actor?
Nah,
just-
director, producer,
okay.
you know, always behind the scene. Actor? Nah.
You could be, man. Look at those pics.
Nah. And so I had to put our dream one side, and then it got into the music until they get to a point where it could then, you know, get into video. But we will go through that. This is about you.
Okay, sorry, my bad.
you always try to switch it.
I'm sorry about that.
It's in your role today.
Yeah, but that is, you know, the journey there was one of a lot of discipline, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of days with nothing to eat,
Right.
a lot of days with bro. And I can say this only because I want to encourage people to not give up on the dream. There had days I did not have money to get toilet paper.
Wow. This was pandemic time, or this was
Pandemic.
Pandemic.
Time. Just before pandemic.
Just
'cause
before. Okay.
Yeah, because it was released in 2019. So, you know, after that it became very hard. And things actually picked up in the pandemic. You know, so I would encourage anybody, because without stuff like that, no food, and you're wondering how you're going to get this done, just start. Build the shop, and they will come. If you don't provide a shop, you don't provide any place for anybody to come. Just start, you know, and follow through.
So, how was your mental health during this period?
Ooh.
I want you to get a little closer to the mic. Get a little-
Wow. Many nights up and down in the house by myself, pasting up and down. Ended up on antidepressants. Had 2 minor strokes. Had a mild heart attack.
What?
I had a mild heart attack within the last 3 years. Shout outs to my doc, Sean Russell.
Yeah.
You know, and my mental health was not good. There was nowhere to turn. There was nobody, and I just tried to be strong and try to put up this image that, you know, I'm okay. I wasn't. I wasn't. I just needed sometimes to even come home and hear, you know, well, you can be okay. Everything will be all right. You can make it. I kid you not. It broke me. It humbled me right out. Maybe that was to find God.
Right.
But whatever it is, it now has me here where, I mean, the business is walking. It's now starting to walk like anything else, you know, but that was hard, man. Even remembering it, that was hard, bro. That was
So
hard.
while you were in the valley, what lessons you learned or what you brought from out of there that helped you to get where you are now, to get you on top of that?
I guess between the Almighty and becoming a fraternist,
Right.
you know, my brothers, sisters, they offer me a lot of support as well. My business partner, Wesley, he's actually, you know, one of my brothers and worthy brothers. He's very responsible for helping me to get through to this point as well. You know, so you need support, bro. You need that infrastructure.
Yeah. So you would say it's important to surround yourself with
Your right,
the right
energy.
people.
Your right energy. People have to know what to say, how to support from zero, how to make money out of air, how to keep your spirit and your vibe up, how to, you know.
What comes to mind right now is that even as I started this podcast by saying how much you did for other people, not like indirectly, just being who you are, just having the energy that you had and the joy that you give to other people, and like how much they would take and walk away, but they would never really think about what you need or what you're going through. Your title was Energy God.
Yeah.
And people would log in or log on or tune in to get that energy that they need. Whether, you know, don't matter what they're going through,
In my life.
no matter what you're going through, you gotta show up at our station.
Yeah.
And you gotta open up. And you gotta put on a persona. Because people ain't really thinking about what's going on with you.
And my dad died too, so it was like just double whammy after whammy. It was just, you know, intense.
Right.
You know, and I think too, bottling all of that and trying to be strong for everybody. But you do it because you love it. And when I went to work, when my dad was gone, I left that energy, that spirit outside, because I know when I came in there on afternoons, there's somebody who depending on me to lift them.
Yes.
To whom much is given, much is expected. So I think, again, that strength, I don't know where it came from, but I'm glad I was able to do that for people, go and, you know, wake up and show up and turn up and get to places and try to still make people happy. And, you know, that energy is necessary. And if you don't have that, because everybody doesn't have it, you need a team that can keep you in check. Not yes people, you need a team that can keep you in check.
Right.
You know, yes people.
So, was there a technique or anything that you had to do before you go on air? Like, don't matter what you're going through in life, is there like this thing that you go to?
I am very spiritual. Very spiritual. So I got into meditation. I can see that you have dealt with meditation by
Yeah, for
just the
sure.
way you're holding your hands.
In my Zen mode,
Yes,
yeah.
right. So I got into it and to try to see myself like as a character. Step out of my actual physical self and see myself as the machine who going on stage. Pete is here telling you, you got to go on stage and show up and do this.
So you had to come out yourself and coach yourself.
Kind of like separate myself because, you know, there was a point of the journey when it was, you know, basically a lonely one. It's basically a lonely journey. And truth be told, in life, everybody has the stages that they go through, you know. And nobody's going to save you, son. You got to save yourself. And that's the energy that I want to tell anybody. You're going after any part of your dream, you got to save yourself. People will tell you. You will have people who genuinely care. But nobody's going to really, you know, show up for you like you. Nobody can really make you do what you have to do. They can only go so far. So you got to get that energy. That's where I guess the meditation and the separating myself to see that, you know what, no matter you waking up tired, wake up tired because you got a job, dude. You making money. You got people who don't have no job. What do you mean you sleeping and you want to go back to bed? Get up. You know, so I had to adopt that kind of attitude.
That's how you had to speak to yourself.
I had to speak to me like that. I had to speak to Source like that. I had to, because Source became too dependent on, you know, that system that would keep you working till you're 60 years old.
Right. Get
That
comfortable.
comfort zone.
Comfortable. Yeah.
That comfort zone.
But I will say, like, listening to your story and being on radio, being at events, and then to have your own radio station, bro, that's a big flex.
You know, I haven't really actually, I'm very grateful.
That's a big flex.
I'm so grateful, but you know, I've not. My cousin looked at me the other day, Gunner's dad. Peter, you realize you got a radio station? You don't get one, sir? I don't know why, man. I'm grateful, maybe.
But you humble as well with it too.
Yeah, and it's not where I want it yet. Told you about some of the other plans I have. I need, though, you just identified to me, I need, though, to stop and give thanks for that.
For sure. Yeah.
You know?
And to think about what the motivation that provides for other people. Because go back to the day when your parents didn't want you to do this thing. They wanted you to be a doctor. They never thought that the DJ thing would be professional enough. And now look, you're a full-grown businessman employing other DJs and providing the future and providing food for other tables.
Correct.
That's a big deal.
Like I told you earlier, too, I try to make sure that being a DJ, that you treat them and pay people the respect due, monetary-wise and any other way or form, you know?
Yeah.
Because I've been through that. So I don't want to, and I will never treat any of them with a lot of the problems we had or stuff like that. I try to make it easier for them in terms of providing the right avenue, the right comfort, the right security for them to be with growth for themselves as well, too, so they don't feel necessary to pigeonhole. You can't fly, you can't travel, because I have been under those kind of restrictions in the past.
Yeah.
When I used to fly a lot and travel.
And that was a sacrifice for you too, because you'd have pinned down to the station, so you can really spread your wings and tour
kill me
and that
outside.
kind of thing.
It killed me outside. You can understand. It killed me outside.
I know.
Because you can't travel, right? So, but again, things are, things are full circle now where at least I get to pick my fights now in terms of if I want to go and do. I actually got a booking for Miami. I should let you handle that for me, man.
But I like the position you hold, because it's good when creatives also become CEOs and business leaders, because when it's time to employ other people, they know the language, they've been through it, they understand it, so it's more relatable, you know. Yeah. So I like the position you hold right now. But I want to get into, let me go back again in the past, time machine, some of these hits that you produced, bro. I don't think people remember when people say Peter Coppin and they associate you with hot, no, it's hits, but talk about the hits now that you actually produce.
Wow.
And I think my opinion is that you changed the sound of soca when you came up with Hard Wing and Rough Walk. So I want to know, like, what if we could go back a little bit, like what was happening in your mind at that time? Like how you came up with that concept, as simple as the music was at that time, but it still sent people crazy. Like how?
Truth be told, I think that came out of the interest, the want, and the love for music, and because Hard Wayne really came from me listening to Nicholas Branca's Yardie.
Got
I
it.
said, this tune here hard, boy. This tune bad. And I went to Rick. I said, Rick, you were singing a soca tune? 'Cause Rick Ballard.
Right, because Rick was doing
pure
so
dub. Rick was pure
Wow.
dub. Rick was pure dub. We grew up on Rick tapes. So I went
Paint
to
holes.
Yeah. I said, Rick, you would do a soca? Man, you feel like people would think? I said, big man, you real talented though? Who you mean? I want you to do a soca if you wouldn't mind. He said, man, yeah, let me try it then. And that was the birth of Hard Wayne. Hard Wayne came out and it just did what it did. Matt Fingal, he was managing Rick then, and he said, well, this song here won't producing properly. This song is beer jump. Right? Truth be told, when I listen to Hard Wayne now, though, it haunts me, huh?
Really? Because you're hearing all these things that you don't want to do different.
Good Lord.
But would I also teach you as well too? Like, think about it. It's out and it's a classic. Yeah. It is. You may look at it and it's like, oh, it's not perfect because a song is never done. We know this. You know, a song is never done to use. All right, like I done with that. But you could always put more, tweak this and tweak that. But you see, like the rawness of it.
But that is from beating on the school desk.
Yeah, and
We all did it.
It was in school when this record came
We
out.
all did it. Yeah.
And that is a ripper into school sports, buddy. Went into DJing, then you went into producing, then you had the Masterpiece Studios, that kind of thing. And you also did a record records for Rupee. What was that? What was those?
Boy, that was Jump. That was Insomnia. That was.
Buddy, you
that
understand the hits that you listen off right now?
Thanks.
You don't understand that these songs still playing
I was really
around
blessed.
the world?
When Jump opened for Super Bowl, it was for a whole year. They played Jump they licensed it for a whole year. And Jump was really huge. Super Bowl money is nice.
Let me tell you, don't matter where we go in the world, if a DJ wants to play a Caribbean set or a soca set or whatever, like Jump is included.
What?
What is the stadium that Jay-Z started?
Wow.
What's the stadium? Is his name gone straight out my
I
head?
went in New York.
You one in Brooklyn, yes. Barclays.
Correct.
That song's always playing in there just before the players start. Do you understand this?
I have to make a call. Thanks for letting me know.
You don't understand that?
Wow.
But,
I didn't know though, but jeez.
I want us to recognize the gems that you provided. Because if it wasn't for the work that you put in, a lot of careers would not be here today. Music would not have shifted the way it did and opened up a whole new sound and a whole new opportunity and a whole new wave and a wave that on top of another wave. And that's because of the work you put in.
And that's also too because I can't leave out anybody because they're giving you everything, bro.
Right.
Terry Arthur,
Yes.
he came to me after Hard Wayne because I remember Admiral.
This square one.
Yeah. Admiral, he basically, talked about it, festival stage, and he was, like, I get relics for Hard Wayne for what, a year straight.
When you say you got late, you mean like man just thing went at separate. It was
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have lost nothing or no lack of respect for Admiral because, again, by series of events, had I not been fired from station, Hitz would not exist, right? Had I not get discipline from Admiral or the licks, I would not have gone to Janice Millington to learn how to play music. And Matt Fingal came for me, picked me up, paid for classes at Janice Millington. John Wright walk around with a book in his pocket for about a year, he said. I have this book for you for a year. See that song you met Harway? You do bear jump. Hold this book. I learn to play some music. I love that man.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that man. How many of us would love somebody after we talk to them like that? And I fear that we can't talk to some of our people to help guide them. I fear that. We gotta be able to talk to one another and get
But that's how
ideas
we
and
grow
constructive
as a community.
criticism. Yeah.
That's how we grow as a community. Share ideas and don't take it as a diss or disrespect, but just constructive criticism, you know?
Yeah. But when you just took me back in memory lane, and I remember recording Foxy Brown and Allison Hayes. I remember Vibes Cartel.
Because you did a record, you did some for Allison too.
Yeah, a lot. I worked with Allison, Edwin, Rupee, Blacks, Machelle, Iowa, Problem, Bungie, Elephant Man, Hawkeye, Conscience, Beanie, Vibes Cartel, Foxy Brown, Nas. Wow. Jamaica list is huge. The Caribbean list is huge.
That
here.
is crazy.
Back then, I used to just take up my own money and buy a plane ticket, travel, go and link with the guys. And it's a different vibe when you go overseas and you meet these people on their level versus them coming here for a show and you trying to bamboozle. They're not on that head.
Right.
They're not on that vibe. So when you go to their own place or their home, you meet them there and you get a better reception.
Because it was actually trying to do some more research and I realized that you can't really find a lot. It's in your generation, and you did a lot of work, and there's not a particular source that you can go to and pull from. And I think that's something that we know got to work on.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people that just have no idea, you know, that you got this under your belt.
I guess, too, that's why I decided to do this with you, because for a while, a lot of people have wanted my story on my journey.
Right.
But you're the first person to ask me.
I appreciate
and
it,
I
bro.
stick to my word.
Appreciate it.
Right? No disrespect to the rest. Smart story. You can check him out. Gems from friends.
Correct.
All right?
And it's real friends. They ain't pretend
Yeah,
friends.
and pretend we go way back, man. Like Snoop and Dre, we go way back.
Man, Peter, we could talk about so much.
There's a lot. You gotta do part 2.
We gotta do part 2 and a part 3.
Where we both question each other, you know.
You just flip it. I got you. But because I was going to ask you about some major challenges, but you list off a few.
That's not all, trust me.
I can imagine. And but the pattern that I am seeing is that every roadblock that came to you, and any point of resistance, give birth to another opportunity and a new opportunity.
Yeah, man, go round them.
Yeah. So I think what people could also take from this is that just push through.
Yeah.
Even though something may happen, it may seem like it's the end of the world. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, like you being fired. That who's the girl's name? Janelle. Tell you congrats.
Yep.
She saw it as big news.
Yeah.
So I think that it's all about the mindset and perspective.
Seeing the glass as half full instead of half empty.
Correct.
And you gotta keep that spirit.
Yeah. You talk about mental health and the men that work in this space are very prone to that, but they don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. Another good thing that happened to me in this journey, I lost ego.
You get humble.
Ego is the word. I take nothing personal from anybody or anything.
Yeah.
Do not take anything personal in this journey of life. We all in this thing together. We all are part of one another eventually, and if we don't see it, we're going to suffer. You know, so I think that losing ego is part of what really has me at this point too, where it's like, you know what? I'm no better than anybody else. But I don't want to be worse than anybody else. And I want to live. And I got a fire in me that I want to put out there,
Yeah.
you know?
There's a young person watching this that want to get into any type of art discipline, what advice would you give them right now?
Ask a question. Just ask a question. They tell us that when we were younger. Not the door will be open. Ask a question. If you come to me and I say no, go and ask Matthew. Matthew tell you no, go and ask somebody else. Somebody will tell you yes. And on that, I'm also now with the Peace Initiative program for the government, where we're working with artists or young people here who don't have the finance or whatever to get into music. A lot of them talented, can sing, rap, produce. There's one guy into video as well. So I'm doing a 8-week program with the government for them as well. So there's a program that's coming up so they can always, just ask me a question or anybody else. And that information is there to help you on your journey.
What's a day like, any life for Peter Coppin right now?
All right. Where do you want to start from?
Getting up. You mentioned that you get your 4 o'clock coffee.
All right. I go to bed. There's no fixed time for bed. None. Zero. But I have to be up by 4:30, 5 the latest.
Okay.
The radio till 10. I like sometimes 9:30 before I get off here. Meetings till like 2, 3. After that, more meetings. I'm still juggling in meetings, business for the station. Crop over was crazy. I got to see how I get my bearings for that because the production top of this. But I find as time go on, as young as I am in it and as new as it is to me, I find as time go on, I get a little more comfortable. I get my bearings more in terms of how I handle stuff now because I don't get as hype as I was before or, how I used to deal with things.
Mm-hmm. You're not as hot-headed.
Nah. Mm-hmm. I cool about everything. Mm-hmm. Even if I have a decision to make business-wise, I always tend to ask anybody, tell them, give me 3 days. Let me think about it. Even if I think I know the answer, no.
Still want to take time to consider.
Give me 3 days. Mm-hmm. King Solomon took 3 days to do anything in life. And most time within the 3 days, problem solved. Or problem solve itself. So that's one of the principles I work with there.
That's a gem. Mm-hmm.
King Solomon, check him out. He was a boss, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You talk a lot about God on this podcast here this evening. You read the Bible?
I read certain texts in the Bible, passages in the Bible.
Okay. And when you say certain, if you don't mind me asking.
I have read most of the Bible. Okay. I'm not going to say, I read everything. I've never read the whole Bible. Mm-hmm. So that's why I said I've read certain passages and texts in the Bible and stuff like that. I guess too, because that goes deep where, we go back in history and the Bible was altered.
Right.
So there are certain texts that I know are supposed to be more pure or less affected. Mm-hmm. Right?
Was there anything that you found in that book that would have helped you on your journey?
Everything. From Psalms 23 up. Everything. Right? Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. All of those texts. You can learn from a little insight. You can learn from anybody. You can learn from a mistake. So, there's always stories that you come across. I find most of the things I like are like, things I can relate to, like you said earlier, the valley. Mm-hmm. Large shepherd's prayer, stuff like that helped me to get through. Yeah, though I walk through the valley of shadow of death, I shall fear no evil because thou art with me. And that's how it felt. Mm-hmm. That's how I honestly felt at points.
Yeah. And you felt like you had to strip a lot of things off. And that's when you found God, our presence. And
it's not like I say you don't believe, because, our parents bring us up in a Christian society. Barbados is predominantly a Christian society.
Yeah.
But I find that the experiences I went through kind of molded my character and made me really understand that I ain't saying nothing as a man. You know, so I talk to him like my partner. I talk to him. Wake up some mornings, and no matter going through the day, I stump my toe. Oh, thank you, Lord, for stumping my toe. I got a toe. Thank you.
Perspective.
That's the kind of vibe it gave me in the journey, God, and how he really became more prominent in my life. And you know, people got this thing that because you believe in God, you're a Christian, or you're not a Christian because you don't. And I believe in God. I don't know if you'll call me a Christian or whatever, but I believe in God. And I think we get problems when we want to break down the fact that this person serves God, and you got to serve God this way. And when they read in the Bible, it said this and that about God, and you got to do it their way. And if we give you a paintbrush and me a paintbrush, and we both paint your mug, that being God, it can look different. So it's how you receive that information and translate it.
Interpretation.
Yeah, correct.
Got it. Being able to see what you have done, the music you have made, the waves you created, the businesses you have built, the people that you have motivated and enabled, and then you got to a point where you were at your lowest.
Facts.
It could really mess with you, you know, knowing that you have done so much, but still you find yourself in a hard position like that. Like how do, because some people don't make it through that.
What I would tell you is how it was explained to me when I was going through it is a heart monitor. Beep, beep, beep. Highs and lows, troughs and crests. Right? Life is like that. Anytime life is this way,
Flatline.
what that mean?
You're dead. Yeah.
So work with the highs and the lows. You're not going to be down there forever unless you decide you like down there. And an old man told me something too that I would tell anybody. No, that I just remembered. Son, when you're going through hell, run fast. Get from about there. Don't drag your foot. Get out.
Don't stick up.
Don't stick up.
Yeah.
Keep moving.
If you're going through hell, keep going.
Move faster. Right?
I gotta get out.
You like that? Get from there.
Yeah, man. That is one to live by for sure. Yeah.
Keep moving.
Yeah. Well, Peter, thanks for coming through, man.
Thank you,
I
brother,
appreciate
for
it.
having
And
me.
we will have a part 2.
Thank you, my brother, for having me. Thank you so much, Matthew. Gems from friends.
It's a wrap.